Hey guys, and today Shorty and I are going to do a bit of a wrap up of the Cats trade period, and we've got our mugs back on camera, mate. It is holiday time. Get around it.
It is, mate. I'm quite pumped to finish today, so it's good stuff.
Tell you what, yeah, the week off's going to be great, and you get a couple off. So, what are you going to go up to?
I don't know, mate. Head down the coast typically.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else. Maybe go to Crown.
Far out. I like the sound of that.
Maybe head up to Ballarat later, which I'll allude to later in the piece.
Sounds good, mate. All right, we'll delve into how the Cats went, and mate, let's be honest, it wasn't a great spectacle to see what the Cats actually did. Shot themselves in the foot at times, and overall they could be, not too satisfied, but a couple of handy inclusions potentially. So, yeah, I don't know how we're going to go with this, mate. Just roll along with it. What do you reckon?
Yeah, you're right. It wasn't fantastic. I mean, it wasn't awful for sure. I mean, we are a club that's pretty active at the moment. It's a bit of a destination club. Players seem to nominate us regularly, which is nice.
Positive.
But I felt that we probably could have done better on a couple of fronts. I mean, I suppose we'll start with the main talking point, which is probably Deledio. And in that first initial period of the trade period, he nominated us, where he wanted to get to.
Put his hand up.
And Richmond nominated Caddy as the man that they wanted. And we said, sorry, no thanks, Caddy's not for sale. And all of a sudden, we obviously all know what's happened, that Caddy goes to Richmond anyway with his best buddy Dion Prestia, and Deledio goes to the Giants. So I think that's probably where it mars it a little bit, where you get a bit frustrated, because I felt we were probably caught napping and were perhaps too smart for ourselves. I mean, we didn't have a first-round pick to really deal with, so we couldn't appease them that way, so we had to give something up in way of a player. Played hardball with Caddy. All of a sudden the Giants pipe up. G'day, we've got pick 15. What do you think of that? They like it, and all of a sudden Prestia gets in Caddy's ear, and, seemingly he was happy with either club, but ended up going to Richmond. So I think in layman's terms, and just looking at it as your average Joe, it looked like we played too hard ball, outsmarted ourselves, and in the end lost Deledio and lost Caddy. So that was a big negative. At the end of the day, that deal was we lost Caddy and gave away pick 56, I think it was.
Yep.
And got in return pick 24 and 64. So in essence, it's Caddy for 24 and a rearrangement down the end, which, it's disappointing because he's a former first-round pick, top 10 pick, I think.
Yeah, he was pretty early.
So that guy that we probably looked upon as a real player for the future, hard midfielder, best footy in front of him.
Yeah, can play forward, and that's not too frequent with their midfield. Really got Dangerfield that can sort of go forward. Selwood sometimes.
So what were your thoughts on that trade? I mean, I'd imagine you share my disappointment there.
Yeah, I've said over inbox a few choice words to you. I think when I initially found out the news when Caddy went, and I think, what's his name, recruiting...
Stephen Wells.
I don't remember his name yet. Stephen was who I was after, how he said, if anything happens in the next 24 hours, it'll be him, sort of voicing whether or not he wants to go. Frustrating because I believe I heard some news that Caddy bought a house in Geelong recently, somewhat. Yeah. So I don't know on the validity of that. I haven't been to his house by any chance. So look, disappointing when you say that, and when it's like, oh well, had you given Caddy up, we would have got Deledio. So
yeah, seemingly, yeah.
You would have thought, but didn't end up that way, and it just looked like we gave him up for not a great deal. I mean, pick 24 is not too bad, but if you want Caddy or pick 24, you're going to take Caddy every day of the week. So that's what he wanted to do, mate. Yeah, look, disappointing we couldn't get the deal done when Toledo particularly nominated us, but then he nominated whoever the heck wanted him. So yeah, not too happy at all, mate. But that's the game, and looking at it initially, without knowing too much information, without going further in the trade period, I wouldn't have wanted to trade Caddy for Deledio, for a guy that's injury prone and 29, turning 30 pretty surely, for a guy that's just stepping up in the ranks and probably not far off that next step. So you look at that in isolation and think, oh, no, we're not going to do that. And they didn't, and it came back to bite them. But tough one to get a gauge on. Prestia probably played a big part in him going. So
you're right. I mean, I suppose at the time you probably would have erred on the side of keeping Caddy over Deledio, but if you were given what turned out to be the actual choice of would you like Deledio or pick 24, I think then we would have probably
Yeah,
gone to
you
Ledio. But
go to Leeds, yeah.
there's a bit of talk about salary cap and things like that, maybe not being able to pay Lids enough and whatnot. But
That too, yeah.
you know, clubs work around that, you know, surely. I mean, we can't be bursting at the seams, I wouldn't have thought.
Bartel and Ryan, they would have been on a couple of dollars. They've been out, a few other outs, which we'll mention shortly.
Exactly. So I would have thought with the way you can back end contracts and things like that now, I would have thought that was a bit of a cop out excuse.
Yeah, well, Selwood and Danger probably on a bit, but every club's got superstars that are on a bit as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
yeah, look, I guess Aaron Black was a random inclusion, and I thought Fremantle would go for him because I think he might have been from WA, but got good raps on this guy. He was really good 3 or so years ago when he was a pretty mobile, accurate, good set shot for goal, good mark as well. Just work rate and sort of pressure have probably been his downfalls, I guess. Stuff that hasn't done so well. So pick 92, we lose for that. And I mean, for a guy that could maybe be a second foil for Hawkins, 26 years of age, will be turning 26 pretty shortly anyway. Look, could be a good option. See what happens. With him and Mitch Clark sort of battling for the same spot, second foil. So yeah, look, optimistic that he can be a mobile, contested marking, goal kicking forward that applies a bit of pressure as well. So yeah, I've seen some of his good work, but just a matter of whether he breaks into the team and makes an impact at team level.
Yeah, I remember a few years back you were quite a fan of him, that's for sure. I wouldn't even be surprised if Clark's not there next year, to be honest.
Well, can't rule out yet.
Potential for that as well. But yeah, when you give away pick 92, then it's certainly worth the risk. He's got potential at AFL level, as you mentioned, and yeah, giving up 92, which we may have not even used, may have just passed on it, most likely. So, yeah, no real complaints with that. It's probably worth the risk.
Good stuff, mate. And Zach Tui was probably the best thing that came out of the trade period. And he's not replacing Corey Enright, but he'll provide a bit of run-off halfback that we so desperately needed. Haven't really had anyone since David Wojcinski it's about 4 years now. So have been lacking a bit of run and drive from that half-back line. He's got a great bit of pace on him, great kick as well. Hits the targets more often than not. Doesn't want to go from 55 or 60 as well. So yeah, we gave up first round pick for next year and trade Billy Smets, who's been injury prone, and we're happy to see him go. And with Billy Smets and Josh Caddy going, that goes all compensation and everything we got for Gary Ablett all in the one trade period.
Yeah, good point.
But no, I'm excited about Tui. I mean, he'll be a serviceable and handy player to have, I think, on the park. Very durable as well, mate, as you would well know. So he generally stays on the park, and yeah, we get a second round pick back in return for that. So
yeah,
what are your thoughts on
next year's?
So next year's one, yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, Tui isn't an absolute superstar by any means, but he does feel a need that we certainly need to attend to. I mean, that run off a half back and a good ball user is certainly something we require. I think if Thurlow can come back as well, then all of a sudden you've got two really nice ball users coming off the half back line, which is arguably our biggest weakness. There's a couple, but certainly it's one that we definitely need to fill. So, yeah, I don't mind him coming to the club for sure. And then I guess when you look at the deal in its entirety, then it's reasonable. I think it's probably, at this point, fair. Both clubs have sort of given a bit here and there, but at the end of the day, we'll know who the winner is next year. I mean, you just won't know when you're dealing with future picks. You can't really assess it until they come round. I mean, in theory, if we were to finish top 2 again, if we played off in the grand final for theory's sake, just in theory, then all of a sudden that pick is, pick 17, 18-ish.
Yeah.
And if the Blues have just a so-so year, if they sort of finish round your, 10th to 12th, then what's that sort of pick 23 to 5 or something like that. So I suppose if you look at it like that in theory, Smets for Tui, take that every day of the year, and then slip back in the draft order by 7 or 8, then I think we're the winner. But that's what probably will happen. But, the Dogs probably wouldn't win the flag this year, so you just don't know. So, the flip side is we drop down, get knocked out in the first final, Blues skip up, finish 9th or something, all of a sudden, probably goes in the Blues' favour. But there you go. I'll talk to you in 12 months about that one, mate. I don't know.
See what happens, as we often say. And got a couple others here, mate. We've got Kirsten out, Vardy out, probably more happy about Kirsten leaving. Vardy, I guess, it's much for muchness, isn't it? Him going, I think he's got a bit of injury proneness about him, and Kirsten was just lacking senior opportunity. Delivered really well for probably 4 or so weeks, where we thought, hang on, he could be an absolute star here. He could be Hawkins' man, second man in line. It's really stood up over a number of weeks, but then just went back to the old Shane Kirsten we know, which is not doing a lot. So, how did that transaction transpire, mate?
Yeah, no, I mean, not too concerned to see the back of either of them, to be honest. Probably 2 potential good players, but a bit of a tease when you really look at it. Maybe if we really got critical, we might have liked picks in the late 40s to 50s, if you wanted to get really technical. But, as you said, they're an injury-prone forward and I guess an unproven forward. So it's hard to really push a real hard bargain when you're trading off, fringe
Scraps.
blokes. Scrapping the barrel sort of thing. So, not too bad. Hopefully we can get a gem late in the draft potentially. But
James Hird, boys.
Yeah. I guess also worth noting Steve Motlop, while his name doesn't appear on the screen there.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, he was highly talked about. Probably thought he was out the door when he was well and truly on the table. And maybe no one wanted him. I mean, I'm sure clubs would have had interest, but weren't willing to give up enough to really satisfy the Cats. So I suppose, he's back at the club, and I just hope it's a kick in the bum that he needs. And have a look at that, Steve. No one's willing to give too much up for you. Maybe you're not the superstar you maybe think. I don't know.
There you go, cop that.
But let's just hope that. I know he would have had hard talking to in the past, but there's nothing like your AFL career at the club you've been at forever, coming with an inch of its life. So
the crossroads.
Hopefully it has a positive effect on him and he really hits the track hard, which he hasn't done in the past. So that was a deal that didn't get done.
Stevie J was put up at the trade table end of 06, and then also a further incident. And then for whatever reason, I think with a campaign we had, leading teams, I think it's called. Yeah. I don't know if all of those contributions just made him stand up a bit better. But
Well, I mean, Johnson would have been a pie if he passed the medical. He failed the medical test at Collingwood.
The rest is history.
3
flags later, and had the Giants maybe for another one next year. But so those transactions, Kirsten for 63 and Vardy for pick 72. So see what happens with those. I mean, it doesn't really phase either of us. We don't lose too much sleep, but.
And a couple of other things I wouldn't mind mentioning is...
what has he got?
Well, just the fact that I also heard Wells talking while there was a lot of backlash from Cats fans about the caddy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned it as well, but he did say that it leaves us open to do something big next year in the coming years. So
Force at the Cats next year. You heard it first here.
Potentially. Well, not potentially. No doubt they would have a key player in mind that's going to be a free agent. I mean, I think that's clear that they've got someone in mind, and whether they can get it done, we'll wait and see. But it gives them room to make a big play. So I think that's something that they probably will be looking at in the coming years. And I guess on a more negative note is we wanted to get into the earlier period of the draft, and I didn't feel we did that. I thought it was a little disappointing. Pick 24 is about it, one pick in the first 37, so it's not fantastic. I would have liked us to maybe get another second or even a first if we somehow managed to. So that was a little disappointing because we know what made us great, going to the draft and getting great players, nurturing them and developing into great footballers. That's what got us our premiership success.
It did, true.
Of late, it's become sort of patching up the puzzle and grabbing pieces from other clubs. And, you couldn't say it's really worked yet. There's been a few success stories, but we haven't had too many real top-end picks of late. Smets is gone. Lang is untried. Let's hope Cockatoo comes through. But
Barty's gone.
Yeah, I would have liked to have a few more early picks, and I just hope that we are, in the coming years, can really get back in that early stage in the draft. We've already given away next year's first round, but I think we have to get that back. I think because you got to use a first round pick within 2 years, I think.
Yeah, that sounds...
I'm pretty sure it's a rule. So
sounds like something I heard, yeah.
So I think we have to get it back somehow. But anyway, I just would have liked to maybe get, just pick 24, be accompanied by, pick 19 and 29, just to give us a couple more. But
yeah, on the top end stuff.
Wells he's put to the test. I think he's going to have to find some nice sliding players here.
Definitely, mate. Nicely summed up.
Absolutely, mate. Do you have anything to add to that? Or
yeah, I'm not a big draft man, but because I don't get around it like yourself, but yeah, you can't go wrong with like having an extra first round, and you're right. We certainly have had a number of sort of patching players. Hamish McIntosh. I think ever since free agency was introduced, we've really gone in on it. Jared Rivers is another example as well. And look, I actually like that, but I also think we really do need to pick a couple of gems here and there, because I feel like maybe, I don't know, I can't really think, not many players are jumping off the page saying, damn, that was a good pick. Like, we can only go back to 2009 draft, Dan Menzel, he's been injury prone, Vardy's been injury prone, Cowan's been injury prone. Those guys should be leading us to our next tilt.
Yeah, for sure.
And we've got one of them, maybe two of them that are playing well.
Duncan and Menzel, is that the two?
Yeah, Duncan's part of that as well. So Duncan, Menzel, Cowan played some okay footy, but they're just not quite at that next level yet, probably due to all those injuries they've had. So we've been a bit unlucky and haven't picked some great picks. Schroeder's been and gone, Stringer's been and gone, Smith's gone, as you said. Hall and Smith's been on the fringes for years, and just no one really standing out. And Bew's slowly developing. Thurlow been injured and showing some promising signs. So, hopefully something good to come in the next couple of years, mate, because that's what got us there. Some bloody good picks. Ablett, Chapman, and Ling, and Corey, and Enright.
That's right.
Some very good quality names there.
Yeah, I just hope in a couple of years we don't, slide down the ladder and we look back at why aren't we getting some young guys coming through, and then we assess the draft and, as spectators, I think the writing is on the wall now that we haven't had the best couple of drafts.
Correct, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. But I do also have some breaking news, mate.
Yes.
We spoke on the phone about the goal kicking challenge in Ballarat.
Okay.
You versus Tim. Now,
I
just saw this today. Tim has actually strained a quad.
Has he?
He's
When did you find that out?
I found it out today, mate.
Okay.
He's injured it at cricket. Now, it's a bit of a cloud, but he expects to be right.
Okay.
It's just a minor strain.
Right.
I just thought I'd let you know. So, the goal kicking contest should still be on.
I hope so.
But you've raged in the betting markets. You're coming in from all corners of it, mate. So,
right.
Slight quad niggle, but he informs
Nasty.
me that he'll probably still have you covered.
Okay. Well, best of luck, Tim. I hope we have a nice challenge. And
that's not what you said to me off air, mate. You said you're taking to the cleaners with your left boot.
I think you're making that up. I think he's making stuff up for you guys. But,
I look forward to the challenge, mate. It's going to be good.
Yeah, no, I do too, mate. Hopefully the quad stays nicely. I don't want to win by default. So, we'll see at the ground, Tim. Don't know where we're at. Where's it going to be at?
I don't know.
At somewhere.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get onto Eureka Stadium, but they're sort of building a few grandstands. So if you want to jump the fence, mate, you can. But
I'm happy to try Eureka. We'll go with whatever you reckon, Tim.
See how we go. Because there was a couple of nice ones that they'd taken their goalpost down like Deacon. So,
damn it, it's frustrating. Because
we'll find something.
Yeah, a cricket ball might hit a goalpost.
Wouldn't
want that happening.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, should be exciting.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
Good stuff from you, Damo. And thanks for tuning in today, guys. So that's a bit of a patch up and a review of the Cats and the trade period. What's your final grade on them, mate? I'm going to go with a C-.
Yeah, I was probably thinking a C. Yeah, I was sort of thinking C-ish, maybe C+ if I was feeling generous.
Yeah, C sounds good. All right, that's it from us today, guys. Thanks for tuning in and seeing our mugs on camera once again. So, really appreciate it. Don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe. That'll be fantastic. And check out other videos. That'll be great. And thanks for tuning in once again. We'll catch you guys next time.